Good evening, morning, or afternoon, folks. Wherever you're watching from, welcome to the Slice Tennis News. Last night, Djokovic and Federer lost at the Shanghai Masters to a couple of next-gen superstars, Alexander Zverev and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Now I'm going to tell you why this is a huge deal and what this means for tennis going forward, and just a little look into what exactly went on last night. So let's get into all this on this episode of The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Welcome to The Slice.
Thank you for tuning in, folks, to this quick episode. We're going to go very low editing here because we just got to get the news to you. If you're new here, my name's Stephen Boughton. Subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any of the coverage of the ATP, because this is where we're getting you closer to the ATP World Tour than anywhere else on the internet. But right now, Djokovic and Federer are in the losers column after they both lost last night in the quarterfinals of the Shanghai Rolex Masters. Now, it's very interesting because of who they lost to, and I think how they lost. Now, this isn't completely unexpected because I don't want to brag here and said I told you so, but if you check out the preview video, which should be in the description somewhere or up here, you'll see that I actually said before the tournament, I think that the young guys are really going to come back on the offensive here after having a bad middle part of the season. So I think the young players could step up and win Shanghai. I kind of expect one of them to win Shanghai, not going to lie. And that seems to be what's going to happen now. A young guy will definitely win this tournament because right now only Tsitsipas, Zverev, Medvedev, and Berrettini are left in the draw. So what happened with Djokovic and Tsitsipas? So how the match started is very cliche because Djokovic came into this match looking really good, playing very well, having just won the Rakuten Japan Open. And he won the first set, I think 6-3. Very clean. So Tsitsipas is down, but he's able to turn it around in that second set and started to out-hit Joker. Joker, I don't know if his level dropped at all, but Tsitsipas started to up his level and started to punish Djokovic and make him run around. And then he won that second set, and then he won the third set and finished the match with an overhead smash, which to me, it's the second Masters 1000 in a row where next-gen players come from one set down to beat Djokovic. Like Tsitsipas just did it here, and Medvedev did it in Cincinnati. To me, this shows belief in that these next guys have, that they can beat the best even when they're down a bit. So that's a big deal, I think. The way Tsitsipas played is great. Like I've said enough about his potential and his future, I think. I was talking about it back in the Australian Open when he beat Federer in the quarterfinals, and then he went on to lose to Nadal. But to me, this tournament is significant because of also the other match between Zverev and Federer. So anyways, Tsitsipas defeats Djokovic, showing amazing belief and just the ability to out-hit the arguably best player in the world right now. So Zverev then plays Federer, who is also looking pretty good. Hasn't had as much playing time on court since the Laver Cup, where he looked great. He wasn't dominant in the Laver Cup, but he got those wins down. And if you remember, Federer is the one who's given it to Zverev, as Zverev had to finish off and clinch that final match in the Laver Cup. And Federer gave him just a good talking to in the hallway, saying, "You got to get your head in this game. I don't want to see any negativity from you." Every time he's like, and he just like cussed him out a bit. It's really amazing to see. It's also on my Laver Cup wrap-up video. Check that out. But anyways, so Zverev won the first set, just out-hitting Federer, playing better. And then Zverev has 3 match points in the second set as he's up a break, and he's serving for it. And he gets a bunch of first serves in. And then Federer somehow switches on God mode and literally plays the best tennis I've ever seen in my life from any tennis player ever for 5 points. Like, each one of the Zverev serves was a first serve, and Federer returns it and then just comes to the net and just starts hitting ridiculous volleys. Ridiculous volleys, pick up off his shoelaces. Just the best 5 points in a row I think I've ever seen, saving 3 match points in a row. And then Federer wins that set, roaring like a lion, and you got to think, man, momentum's with Federer now. But no, Zverev's able to regroup, get his action back, and continue to dominate from the baseline and just be too much for Federer, who was getting frustrated. And even one point in the match, Federer did this, he missed a volley, hit a ball into the net, and then he did another one, he kind of lobbed the ball up, and I think it landed back on the court, and the umpire gave him a point penalty. And Federer just came up and talked to him, and you could see the ref just thinking to himself, I am such an idiot, I think. Like, what did he just do? He wasn't even mad. It wasn't like a violent hit. But anyways, Zverev navigated through that and beat Federer. And that's a big deal because he's done it before. Tsitsipas has also beaten Djokovic before. But to me, this just shows that they've done it again. They have that much more confidence. And I think that this is significant because Djokovic and Federer were both playing great in this tournament. And so I don't know. I've had a weird feeling during this tournament that the next gen would push through after the Laver Cup. I feel like they maybe just some of the magic from Federer and Nadal rubbed off on these guys, and now they're playing amazing. So Medvedev also frustrated Fognini, just like I said would happen. Fognini literally threw his racket on, I think, the point before match point. And then Berrettini beat Thiem, which is it's tough for Thiem. It's a sad loss for Thiem, but Berrettini's also one of the next gen stars. That's coming up. Made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Open, losing to Rafa Nadal. So the next gen now have serious belief. That's the main point of this video. They have serious belief that they can compete with the best players in the world and beat them. We saw a couple of them beat Nadal on clay in the clay swing, and now we've seen we saw a team beat Djokovic at French Open to get to the final. We saw Medvedev make it to the final of the U.S. Open this year and almost beat Nadal. We saw Zverev beat Djokovic in last year's World Tour Finals, and in 2 years ago in Montreal beating Federer, even though Federer had a broken back in that match, basically. Tsitsipas beat Federer at the Australian Open. So these wins have happened. A lot of us thought that, or I guess I kind of predicted that 2018 or so, 2019 would be the year of the switch from the big three dominating to the next gen. But it seems to be taking a lot longer than we thought. But what I've seen now is them getting some serious teeth into the fight against the big three. And I think 2020 now will be an extremely interesting year in tennis. I'm fully under the conviction that I think that there's a decent chance that not a single major next year will be won by a member of the big three. Of course, I could be completely wrong. They could split it again. Federer could win all four. Djokovic could win all four. Nadal could win all four, even though all the scenarios are very unlikely. But it's definitely not unlikely that a next-gen player by the name of Tsitsipas, Thiem, Zverev, or Medvedev, those are my top guys right now, it's not out of the picture for them to win a major for sure next year because I think they have the belief now to do it. And this tournament just showed that a little bit more with some spectacular performances by Tsitsipas and Zverev defeating Djokovic and Federer, the number 1, 2 seeds in the tournament when they weren't playing bad. These young guys just outplayed them, stepped up to the plate, and got it done. So that's why I think that this tournament is a very big deal in the transition from the next gen from the big three leaving and the next gen taking their spot. I think Shanghai 2019 will stay fresh in my memory as one of the turning points of that transition. So anyways, those are my thoughts on those matches. We didn't even get into the stats because that wasn't the point here. We're just talking about the themes. And the theme now is the next gen believes they can do it, I think. And we're going to see more results from them in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Steven Boughton giving you the Slice Tennis News. Subscribe down below and support us on Patreon. On the Front Row Show, you get to decide the topic of the show. Happens every 2 weeks. And you help independent tennis journalism like this get better and keep going on. Thanks for the support, guys. We'll see you very soon.